name is Lila Burke, and I am honored to serve as your governor this year. Standing here today, I see hundreds of young Kentuckians, from students to leaders to dreamers, all gathered with one purpose: to build a better Commonwealth together. Each one of us represents a unique corner of the state. From the rolling hills of eastern Kentucky to the bustling city streets of our urban centers, from farmland to river valleys, we are united by a shared love for the Commonwealth we call home. And in this unity lies our greatest strength. This year, our state has faced challenges that have tested that unity. Communities across Kentucky continue to recover from devastating floods and storms that have destroyed homes and displaced families. Small towns have struggled with economic hardship and access to opportunity. And in every region, we have seen the impact of issues that reach beyond headlines. Communities have suffered mental health struggles, addiction, and a growing sense of division throughout. Yet what defines Kentucky isn't tragedy. It's resilience. When disaster strikes, Kentuckians show up. We volunteer, we rebuild, and we remind each other that compassion isn't just a value, it's a way of life. That same spirit of compassion is what brings us all to KYA. Because leadership isn't about holding a title, it's about serving others. It's about listening to those who disagree, finding common ground, and standing firm in what you believe is right. Our generation is growing up in a world that often feels divided. But that gives us the opportunity to lead with empathy, to rebuild trust, and to prove that unity is still possible. That's the challenge I want to set before all of us during this conference: to listen with open minds, speak with intention, and work together to find solutions that lift up every single Kentuckian. KYA gives us the chance to put that kind of leadership into action. Over the next few days, you'll meet people who have seen the world differently than you do. You'll hear ideas that challenge you. You'll have conversations that push you to think deeper. And that's the beauty of this experience. It's not about being right, it's about being willing to learn from others. The Commonwealth we envision is one built on unity, opportunity, and justice. And it will only exist if we create it together. It will take courage to face the hard issues. It will take persistence to push for progress. And it will take compassion to see one another not as opponents, but as partners. As governor, my message to you is this: don't wait to lead. Leadership isn't something you grow into, it's something you choose every day through your words and your actions. Whether you're speaking at a podium or encouraging someone quietly in the hallway, your voice matters. We are the generation that will shape Kentucky's future, a future where rural and urban communities work hand in hand, where every Kentuckian, no matter their background, has the opportunity to succeed. A future defined not by division, but by the belief that when one of us rises, we all rise. Delegates, over the next few days, I challenge you to engage with open minds and open hearts. Listen to understand, not just to respond. Respect every voice in this room, because democracy thrives on diversity. And most importantly, believe in the power that you hold to make a difference. Together, we can create the kind of Commonwealth that lives up to its name, one defined by the common good. So as we begin this conference, I ask you to carry this with you. Lead with courage, listen with empathy, and serve with heart, because we are not just Kentucky's future leaders, we are Kentucky's leaders today. Let's make this year's Kentucky Youth Assembly one to remember. Thank you.
In addition to the presiding officers on stage, each of your program areas are only possible with the additional leadership provided by our supporting officers. As your positions are introduced, please stand and remain standing. Delegates, please hold your applause until all positions have been read, and we will recognize you together. For the executive cabinet, we have our chiefs of staff, cabinet secretaries, and Elise Crum. For the Supreme Court, we have our Supreme Court justices and clerk of the Supreme Court. For the media corps, we have our assistant editors. For our Commonwealth and Bluegrass chambers, we have our clerks of the House and Senate, committee chairs, and board keepers. And lastly, we have our conference-like committee representatives. Please give a round of applause to all of your supporting officers. It is my pleasure to introduce your Chief Justice, who will administer the legislative and judicial oath of office.
At the start of their service, state officials are sworn in with an official oath of office. Just as the PO class before you was sworn in upon our election, We will now swear in our newest class of KYA state officials. Will all members of the House of Representatives, both Bluegrass and Commonwealth, please rise and remain standing.
It's all of you. It's all of you.
Will all senators, both Bluegrass and Commonwealth, please rise and remain standing. Will justices of the Supreme Court please rise and remain standing. Will all secretaries of the Governor's Cabinet please rise and remain standing. Will all registrars, clerks, doorkeepers, and other parliamentarians rise and remain standing. So everyone should be standing. Those who are standing represent the state officials of KYA. Now, for those serving as private citizens, all lobbyists, attorneys, and media corps members, I'd like to invite you to pledge to serve the Commonwealth, above all, in your roles by joining in the oath. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear.
I do solemnly swear
That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
And the Constitution of the Commonwealth.
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth,
And be faithful and true to the Commonwealth of Kentucky.
and be faithful and true to the Commonwealth of Kentucky,
So long as I continue a citizen thereof.
so long as I continue a citizen thereof,
And that I will faithfully execute to the best of my ability.
and that I will faithfully execute to the best of my ability
My position according to law.
my position according to law.
And I do further solemnly swear.
And I do further solemnly swear
That since the adoption of the present Constitution.
that since the adoption of the present Constitution,
I, being a citizen of this state.
I, being a citizen of the state,
Have not fought a duel with deadly weapons within this state nor out of it.
have not fought a duel with deadly weapons within the state or out of it,
Nor have I sent or accepted a challenge to fight a duel with deadly weapons.
nor have I sent or accepted a challenge to fight a duel with deadly weapons,
Nor have I acted as a second in carrying a challenge.
nor have I acted as a second in carrying a challenge,
Nor aided or assisted any person thus offending.
nor aided or assisted any person thus offending.
So help me God.
So help me God.
You may be seated. Now, please welcome your Secretary of State, Vanessa Gerakis, who will introduce this year's presiding officer candidates.
Later this evening, you'll have the opportunity to hear from your Commonwealth candidates for presiding officer. And tomorrow morning, you will hear from your Bluegrass candidates. You all will have a chance to vote for your favorite candidates tomorrow during the closing session. Before we hear their speeches tonight, let's quickly meet each of our candidates. When I call your name, please stand to be recognized. Delegates, please give 3 big claps after I announce each candidate's name.
When this breaks, I will
First we have
help you with
Morgan Bryant from Assumption High School. Adele Derrico from Eastern High School. Cosette Jacobson from Paul Lawrence Dunbar High School. Haley Stark from Sacred Heart Academy. Kate Skeeto from Assumption High School. Ksenia Miller from Villa Madonna Academy High School. And Ellie Kate Gilbert from Sacred Heart Academy. In addition to holding our KYA elections, as your Secretary of State, I am registering eligible voters. Though Kentucky doesn't have a general election this year, that doesn't mean you can't still become a registered voter. Come visit me in the election room tomorrow night. We'll now hear from our Commonwealth Speaker of the House about our Legislative Research Commission.
If you've already flipped through your bill book, you may have noticed that some of our Commonwealth bills have a circle on the bottom right corner. That is a seal of approval from our Legislative Research Commission. Okay. Our state legislators usually have an LRC to help them draft their bills, and in an effort to make KYA a kosher model, we have introduced one here as well. Before the conference, myself and other POs would usually hold office hours to help anyone who logged in with their bills. We also would carefully review each Commonwealth bill to determine which would receive our seal of approval. Delegates, if you have seen this seal, this means that the bill is properly formatted. Now, here is your Secretary of the Executive Cabinet to discuss.
so I'll get you 3 minutes and then the second.
You will see lobbyists in your ranking committee chambers this evening. Lobbyists are students who were given early access to bills in order to research and provide persuasive expert testimony tonight. Because they are considered to be experts in their field, they are given priority speaking window before and after pro-con debate. Delegates, be on the lookout as lobbyists also have talking points you can use to make your speeches stronger. Here's your Commonwealth President of the Senate to explain how ranking will work in committees.
I think that's just to see what group you're in, since you have an
For debate tonight, we will be ranking using the online bill ranking form. We are going to go through a quick explanation to try and answer any questions you might have. Each school will submit one ranking form per committee. For example, if Eastern High School has 3 students in Committee 2, they will work together to fill out one ranking form. The bill ranking form will go live at the top of your assembly page under conference links. To get to your assembly page, you can use the QR code in the bill book. To protect student information, we are using passwords for our assembly pages. The password will be all lowercase KYA. If you want to follow along during this next portion, please go there now. If you are on a mobile device, you will scroll down past deadlines, your presiding officer's list, and the virtual code of conduct. There, you should see conference links and the bill ranking form. When the time comes, you may open the form and begin to fill it out. You will submit the form only at the end of the committee once all bills are completed. Submissions submitted before the final bill has been presented will not count. Finally, if you are in a committee and no one from your school has access to an electronic device or your advisor does not allow you to have your devices while in committee, that is okay. You will be able to take notes in your bill book. Take note of the bill number and school, write your scores, and you'll be able to submit your form at the end of committee. The chair will have tablets for you to use. Only at the end of the committee. You will send one student with your scores to the front with the committee chair to use the tablet and fill out the form.
They look good. We could add it.
Anyone here ever submit an amendment?
Whatever. See how this one's shaky?
There are 2 types of amendments, friendly and regular. A friendly amendment can only be submitted by the sponsors of the bill they're amending and must be submitted before debate on their bill begins tonight. No friendly amendments will be accepted tomorrow.
The difference between
A regular amendment can be submitted anytime by anyone in a Commonwealth committee or chamber on a Commonwealth bill. The amendment must be submitted to the clerk during debate, but must be submitted before the sponsors start their closing speech. Who can submit friendly amendments and when? Yes, good job, bill sponsors and before debate begins. You can get amendment forms from the Y desk at any time. I will now invite my fellow officers who will be presiding over chambers tomorrow to give our call to debates. We've finally made it to KYA. After all the work we've put in, the stress of preparing bills, getting ready for special programs, and figuring out what the heck to wear, we are finally here. If this is your first Y conference, you are in for an amazing time filled with debate, new experiences, and of course, mandatory fun. If you are a returning member, welcome back. You already know how meaningful this conference can be. So get excited because KYA is finally here.
As the POs overseeing debate, we have some advice for you. Number 1, get some sleep. No one wants to sit through voting committees running off half an hour of sleep and an ungodly amount of caffeine.
Number 2, keep an open mind. This conference will genuinely change your life if you let it. The experiences that KYA brings are unique and so valuable. Don't worry about what others may think and just be present. Raise your placard as often as you want, try something new, and sing at the top of your lungs during silent disco. Don't rob yourself of incredible opportunities out of the fear of judgment. I promise everyone is too busy worrying about themselves to care about what you are doing.
Lastly, number 3, and the most important one in my opinion, put yourself out there and speak. When I first joined KYA as a 6th grader, I remember feeling one thing, which was bored. I was bored of listening to speeches all day long and sitting in the conference rooms in the Crown Plaza. I remember daydreaming about mandatory fun time and praying for the pro-con speeches to get done quickly so I could go back to my room. After the first day, I complained to other members of my delegation that I just couldn't handle the boredom any longer, to which they responded, "Why don't you try speaking?" I was far too nervous to go up and speak in front of everybody. The mere thought of this sent a shiver down my spine. But when the second day rolled around, I decided, what's the worst that could happen? With the help of my friends, I mustered up the courage and finally was called on to ask a non-debatable technical question. And I can tell you, it was worth it, and my experience changed immensely from that moment forward.
Like Sanara, I was terrified to speak at first. Going into my first conference, I was adamant that I wouldn't speak. I was afraid I wouldn't know what I was talking about or that I'd stumble over my words. But as I went through my first session of debate, I realized that people weren't reading eloquent speeches that had been planned out for days. They were speaking passionately about what they believed in. I realized that participating in debate wasn't as intimidating as it originally seemed. I raised my placard to give a con speech, a speech that changed the trajectory of my Y experience.
Katie and I have both been where you are sitting right now, afraid to speak and unsure about what is simple. But here's when we say, just speak.
No matter what this conference has in store for you, if you're a delegate, a bill sponsor, or in a special program, just ask the question or give the speech. I promise it will make your time here so much more fulfilling.